Everybody wants to hear from Grub Cooper, and I got him on the line. Good afternoon, Mr. Cooper.
Good afternoon, Mr. Lindsay. How are you doing?
I am doing fine. How are you?
I'm fine, man. It's nice to be addressing all the persons who listening to you all over diaspora and throughout the globe.
Yes. The thing is, sir, that a lot of people. I last saw you at the Gregory Isaacs Red Rose for Gregory when you backed up. Was it Dennis Williams or was it the Manhattans?
No, Dennis Williams.
Dennis Williams.
Manhattan's work their one band, yeah.
Yeah. And no one at the time knew what was gonna happen. The
No,
Okay, now I have you loud and clearer now. No one knew at the time, well, put it this way, myself and other people in industry did not know that in 2 weeks' time you will be making an announcement that shook the entire music fraternity around the globe. How long were you thinking of doing this and why did you choose that particular time?
okay. It would have been for the last, since that, coming up to that time,
Mm-hmm.
it could have been during COVID, I would suspect.
During
Probably
COVID.
the last year of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Certain realities kind of set in then. And I said to myself, there's so many things that I've put on hold over time because Fab Five, that in and of itself was a full-time exercise. So much so that I had some amount of latitude to do stuff because every member of that organization has latitude to, number one, create musical works for themselves,
Right.
or to do albums, or to perform when there's a free space, because everybody has a different kind of expression.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you're a band, saying
Mm-hmm.
there are certain ambitions that you may want to achieve, but being part of an organization, you probably can't do it. If you work with, say, in America, you work with AT&T, not giving them no free publicity, and you're there, good worker, probably a big time manager, but then at time go and hear that the top manager in AT&T is going to open his own internet provider service or whatever.
Right.
Probably that was something that was in him all along, and he thought about it, maybe over time, and then the time came. But let me tell you, in the arts, there is no right, because age is not a barrier. Nothing is a barrier, really.
Right.
And you can't, in life, keep putting off stuff that you want to do because, like I said these days, you really have to live in the present. You know your past,
Mm-hmm.
you appreciate the past, which is your history, so to speak.
Right.
The present is what is, and the future is where you plan for. However, it's not guaranteed
Right.
to happen. But what is guaranteed is the present.
Now,
So living in
a lot of people, you made that case, yes, that the latitude you have is limited. But a lot of people, a lot of critics have said, in the 52 years you've been with Fabulous Five, you have produced album with Rita Marley, you have done Loving Dear, you have done the Grace Thrillers, you have done Jem Myers. What's the difference between those time and now? Why you have to leave the band to continue producing when you have done those productions, major productions, in the past? What's the difference?
Okay, great question. You have spouted some facts. Have spouted some facts, and that is fine too. But in terms of like the band itself
Mm-hmm.
and other stuff that I have done, I guarantee you that more than half of what I've done, you may not, or people in the business may not realize that I am the one behind
Right,
the
right.
credit.
Yes.
All the credit, 90% of the credit for the success of Fab Five, and I say that guardedly because it's a team effort, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
It's really me.
Yeah,
Tell you that
and we recognize that, Grub. Grub, we recognize
right.
that you are the brain, you are the master, you are the man in control of that band. It's like a Mick Jagger leaving the Rolling Stones. What is the Rolling Stones without Mick Jagger? You know what is Smokey Robinson and the Miracles without Smokey? You know. So when you made that announcement, some of the comments I've heard, blow, whoa, Fab Five don't know. What? How do you respond to something like that?
When you have a lot of organizations that exist, you have, say, Jamaica, you have a major corporation
Mm-hmm.
that has existed from you were born. You hear about them. Probably 2023, fast forward, and they build that. 2023, if you have 1% or 2% of the original person, enough, but the company is still strong.
Okay.
Maybe under a different kind of a situation, it's still strong. So is a church choir. Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir. I don't know if 5 or 10 of the original members are still there.
Still there, right? Good
Name it, it,
argument.
it
Good
keeps
argument.
it keeps going on. So now, what the argument should be, or there should be, ought to be, is that Fab Five, as they know it, with the live albums, the type of hit records, that era has closed.
Okay.
They would have to carve out their own niche if they choose to record. And you hear this is a Fab Five production, Ray, George Harewood is the lead vocals, written by Sidney Top or whoever, arranged by whoever.
Mm-hmm.
So they carve out their own thing as that organization. Fab Five existed, like I say, really under my talent. It's not something that's planned, but I happen to be the one who is the commercial writer,
Right.
who has brain right hit records, who has the knack to the kind of way that people will assimilate and appreciate the kind of arrangements. So that lot fell to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There was a particular instance, I'll tell you.
Please do.
I was always a team. No, I was always a team player, yeah. Because the year when my good friend Bob passed on tour, that tour, I could have been on that tour. It was just one question of yes or no. Because Carly at the time had issues, the drummer.
Okay.
And Bob knew that I am the one who had Carly's style down pat and knew all his songs and everything. Bob wanted me, big tour, it was going to be a real massive US tour. And when Bob spoke to me, I said, I appreciate the offer, and there's nothing else in life I would love to do than to him do what. But I, being the main lead singer for Fat, just those two factors alone.
Right.
Because that's what I have absorbed maybe 4 or 5 months. Now, during that time, because of how things were, it would have been difficult for the band to function then without me as drummer, without me as the main singer.
Right.
And I told Bob this, And he said, I'm disappointed in your response, but I respect you because you do have loyalty. Now, other people, I can't vouch for every single member of Fab Five. I can't vouch for them to have said no at that
Right.
point
At
in
that
time.
point. Right, right, right. Let me ask you this.
I'll leave the band for the function. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. When Peter Scarlett was, I remember as a young man in Jamaica, it was Peter Scarlett was the lead singer. Did after he passed, that's when you picked up the lead singer responsibilities?
Well, only it would have been only by title
Oh,
because Peter Scarlett never did as many songs as I did. He did the songs that worked well for him. Yeah,
hmm,
which wasn't a problem. And then he was the front man. I was behind the drums.
right, right.
You know, in this kind of situation where I'm concerned, no, I've just decided if we come forward to the president now.
Yes, yes,
I
please.
decided in that so-called 2 week window that you say you saw me on Dennis show. He just said, no, this is the time to move. This is the time to move. I had seen a certain amount of slippage in the performance of the band, or perhaps my performance also. For whatever reason,
Right, right,
it was slippage, but I can deal with it.
right.
But this time I said there is a slippage because once you had the death of our guitar player, which was a few months prior to that, but man, he died I think in November from I don't remember exactly brain tumor.
Brilliant.
Or
Okay.
he died in April or something. But yeah, he died brain cancer. So yeah, that was one change that could have been affected. So the band they went back for the original guitarist, Junior Bailey. So he filled that breach.
Right, right.
Could have been a temporary, in that sense. But at the time now, there are other little technicalities.
Right. That only you
They
could
go.
know.
Right.
Only you could know what was happening
Right.
there.
Exactly.
I heard
Exactly.
someone say that this jockey, Sir Rockwell, made a comment when he found out that I was gonna be talking to you, and he said something that and I said to myself, that is true. Usually when someone like you would leave a band and they say they're gonna work on some upcoming projects and they gotta take time to do their own thing. That is how it usually works. But in your case, within a month of you saying you're leaving the band, you put out your first release. So that was made me think that you were working on this thing, the tribute to the Mighty Diamonds, even before you actually made that announcement. Is that true? Can I say that?
Yeah, man, you can say it because my brain. And when I get ideas, they stick with me. For example, I'll tell you, the time when Roy ran one festival, we give thanks and praises. Now, Roy never knew. The only time Roy knew that, and this, the festival competition is usually in July, or they start to open entries about March of the year
Of the
when
year,
gonna have it,
yes.
yeah?
Yes.
I open my railway, submit your entries. November of the previous year, I was coming in from the country with Ricky Walters, that the guitarist at the time. And I said, Ricky, me want tune in my head, me the next festival when I'm head, You think you can play a guitar at the intro like a church man? Them clap on
Yes,
church.
yes, yes.
And he said, yeah, man, me say, but you have to make the guitar sound a little bit out of tune like them. Him say, yeah, man. And him laugh and him say, why you want to show? I say, just a sound in my head, man. Me could you do it. Him say, yeah, man. When I went to Kingston, I told Roy, I said, Roy, I have next festival with enough here. But don't talk to me before January, because this is November now. See in my
Okay.
Christmas, right? And then talk to me. And every few days during that time, end of the year, What may now give me the song? I tell you something, man.
Of course, I'll be
I asked
calling
when the
too.
song is so. So Ricky knew what I had said. I think the guys in the band knew. I said, boy, I want to show them why supposed to win next year. Good. So eventually I recorded it and sing it. Oh, I want it. Go. I said, right, go and study that. And then I recorded it. So when you're a creative, you don't, it's not a selective process.
Okay.
And I said to myself, say, yeah, boy, know that amount of deal, let me do something. Who can I jump on to do tribute for what makes sense? I scratch my head. I am always
Always ahead.
always creating. Let me tell the listening audience this. Uh, and some things I don't like to say in certain circumstances. Even though I love Muhammad Ali, all I love say exactly what I'm saying. But my business, there is no proof in that sense because it's not height, it's not distance, it's not a championship where you throw punches and thing. It's not 100 meter where a bolt or trash them or how you jump or it's all subjective. So I don't say it. But let me say this: of all the musicians in this world, and there's a lot of them, right? Well, relatively small in comparison to the world's population.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of bands comprise small amounts of persons. And God in his wisdom give some amount of persons that ability to produce music, whether it be gospel, jazz, pop, whatever. Right? And me, Grub Cooper, can't, but the evidence is there.
Wow.
There's a handful of drummer vocalists, composers, arrangers in this world, and I am among that.
And you certainly are. Let me ask you this, Grub.
Yep.
When people refer to you as a musical genius, how do you accept a compliment like that?
Sometimes you are diplomatic about it. My take on that is that geniuses are not particularly brilliant people overall.
Please, really?
Like somebody who, hold on, like I have some people who are, say, bipolar or, they have a mental issue in development, but in one area of their development, I mean, they're brighter than the brightest star. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, but bipolar is not the word. There's another word for them. People who, can do one thing extremely well.
And then they're weak on the other side. We understand what you're saying. Bipolar is the word I would use.
Yeah, but it's not bipolar. Because bipolar is almost like being schizophrenic. But it's not bipolar. There's another thing, man. But the fact is, so I don't say so. So I'm not no genius. I am all.
But your production, brethren. Your production, the result of your production.
All right, come on. From the standpoint that you might say, I make things look easy.
You certainly do.
Playing drums and singing look easy. I make sounding like the record look easy. Right? I make arranging look easy. Good. So if it's from that standpoint, I suppose the public is right. I am indeed a genius. And I accept it, and I humbly accept it because the public has endorsed it that way.
Right.
I get a certain amount of talent from the Father,
Yes.
And I am far from being the most brilliant musician on the planet. Very, very far. But the thing about it is the little I have, reason I have the ability, right, or the G to apply it to good use and be effective with it.
And you've been doing that for the past 52 years, my friend. Let me ask you this. Now that you are a solo artist, you're on your own, what are your intentions? What do you really... How old are you now, if you don't mind telling us?
I'm going to be 75 in December.
In December. Okay, at your age, what have you not done in that 52 years you've been in the business? Is there an artist out there that you haven't worked with that you would want to work with now? Now that you have the time and you're going into this solo phase of your career?
All right. First up, one of the things I always wanted to do, I've just done it. Release a tune called Diamonds Are Forever, my first official solo production.
Mm-hmm.
That's one. Everything, even though I write the song, I sing the song, rarely, but Fab Five get the credit.
Mm.
Time now for me to get my credit and to write my history.
Right, right.
In terms of me as opposed to a band. Like that. It's my time now. And back to the whole thing, no time is the right time, but this time is the right time.
But this time. Do you let me ask you this. Listening to you.
Let me continue. Sorry,
go ahead.
So let me continue with your thing. I work with right now. There are people over time that I want to work with. For right now, for a couple of years, where I said, "Wow, you know what? I love a soca tune with Destra. I just love our Destra.
Destra.
I love
our
melody style. Just some brilliant songs, really. Excellent. So yeah, that is one person. Internationally now, yeah, I work with a Lionel Richie. I work with a John Legend.
Mm-hmm.
And if Stevie Wonder would become a little bit simple, yeah, I like that thing with
that would be one combination.
Locally I've done work with Beres. Beres Hammond is my cousin, and we do a name you can't done it.
Okay.
Fight with album you face to face. So I work with Beres. So the thing is, the door is open to not all and sundry, but to sundry.
Yes.
If I say, I'm going to work with you, man, but you're tied on with band. Wow, that thing. Fine, I will do that. However, even though now I can produce work for almost anybody I want based on the time.
Right.
I'm not interested in producing for everyone. The thing is, I've set standards, and for a long time, I've done work for who's struggling and they want to record, and I've lent my talents to them. I say, no, just cool, man, I do that for you. Know what I mean?
Right,
some of them are not even charged. Some of them I don't even charge them.
Right.
I say, man, just go through, man, and do your thing. If you at least make it a starting point and thing. In other words, I have a giving spirit.
Nice.
But at the same time, I have a locked door spirit. So now the locked door spirit kick in, and I choose my battles. And also, I am happy to go out front and go sing. I've done it 1 and 2 times, not officially.
But
it don't bother me.
Right.
No, I don't. Out front, me cool, man. I just
but
go there and enjoy myself.
When Fab Five is being employed somewhere, and you hand in your floor plan how the band's supposed to be set up, for the most part, I've seen the spotlight on you, the drummer. I mean, whosoever's in front, the spotlight always come down to you, and I'm sure that's intentional.
Okay. No, not really. No, not that much. When a band sets up, the stage plan really, the drummer is in the middle because him is. So in the middle of it, this is before sound and monitor everything come in. So everybody on the bandstand would hear him pretty much at the same time. You cast your brain back. I've seen any band where a drummer set up on the side. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There's a rhyme and reason for it. There's a rhyme and reason for, like the keyboard players to be like either side, they could be together. But also for horn players to be where a bass is or the amplifier. It's not so good because it's harder for a horn player to hear his pitching against the bass note of an amplifier.
Right.
So you usually put the horn players on the flip side where the keyboards are. It's easier to pitch because the keyboards put out notes that is audible everyone, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So so there's a reason.
Apparently, because you lay it out.
But if it was a planting, because I'm the star, but I'm not the star, if you know what I mean,
I know
because
what you
I'm
mean.
not on the front line. I'm not on the front line moving, and they never have front vocals. So if I was the only, absolutely the only vocal, then the stage and everything on me. That's different.
Right,
But the fact is, the front line has to operate. They have
right,
to be able to move across
right,
and all
right.
of that kind of. So
When
now,
when you look at the body of your work, Mr. Cooper, what part of it, or at what stage, what year, what decade do you think you were at your best? When you look at the 52 years you've been in the business, was it during the 70s, the 80s, the 90s? Where would you say your most productive or effective production happened?
well, well, the effective part, I agree with. Let us answer it from that perspective.
Okay.
The most effective year I suspect would have been from the 80s, early 80s. Really, because then I have quite pretty much within, honing my skills, being ultra confident in my vocalization,
Right.
but being more ultra confident in my ability to write songs,
Yes.
because that's a big thing. But having put that aside, you know, I like where I am now because of the experience. I am
Oh,
even more flexible now
right, right, right.
than I. It's the public that would have determined the success I would have had in whatever era it is that it happened. Because I could have done my best work. Like, so right now, maybe I do the best work, maybe for the last 10 years. But what? It never resonated with the public for whatever reason. I am not the worst off because, look, you don't suddenly lose your ability to write, to arrange, or to sing, except you're sick or so. I don't have an issue. I'm at the peak of my game now. And
Right.
also, by the way, age is a number. That is my philosophy, and that won't change. This is not a sporting event. This is
Right.
not a CEO working for somebody. This is what comes from within your brain.
Right,
This is
right.
what is part of your existence.
Yes.
When people hear a song, they don't say, yeah, oh, let me know. Oh, man, but him can't good. Well, who said that? Sorry to say,
Fair.
they are a five-letter word. That won't say
Let me
again.
ask you this.
Because,
Let me ask you this. We have a few more minutes left. Um, why the Mighty Diamonds? Why your first single was a tribute to the Mighty Diamonds?
I can't tell you. I can't tell you. I don't know.
Really?
I think, okay, no, but
Listening to the
remember the
lyrics of the song,
subconscious.
though, I
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
that you
but hold
admire
on.
the harmony and so forth.
Okay, put it this way. I'm a writer. And at the time, remember Diamonds lost two of the members, what?
Weeks
Coming up to nearly
apart.
a year now.
Hmm.
Right, weeks apart, a year or so ago. That touched me because we, in fact, did the last show with Tabby and when Tabby was alive, because
Right.
Judge, well, that particular show. So Andre Casanova sang the other harmony, I think, on that particular occasion with Tabby.
Right.
So that was maybe a couple of months before he got shot. So it affected me in a way. I said, geez, man, just step up, really. And then it just occurred to me, 'cause everything for me, most things come through the universe. And something said to me, nobody not really give them people the respect with you.
Right.
Me, my break, diamonds are forever. What? But only three are mighty. I'm going to say, well, a nice idea. And I go on and, you got a good portion of the song, in your head. I hear them saying, no, they're not going away.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, no, no. And then the icing on the cake now, I kind of researched my brain and said, what the diamonds represent. And so I came up with
Okay.
the lyrics I came up with, which depicted the group and their modus operandi and their whole stature. So the song is such that if you ever heard of the Diamond, number one, you know their names. Number two, they're an international reggae group. Number three, they stood for good living.
Right.
Number
Right.
four, they stood for great harmony. You know,
Right.
number five, they were very loving and respected by all of that role in the song.
Okay, let me take a station ID on top of the hour and then we come back. Because usually it's 30 minutes, but when we talk to someone like you, we find another 5 minutes somewhere. So let me take a station ID and then come back to you, okay?
No problem.
All right. Mr. Cooper, are you there?
And my son.
Yeah, yeah, you're my son. No, when you like you are a solo artist now. Does that mean you gotta start a new production, new label, recording studio? You sent me a picture with you in a studio. Is that now you? That's where the hits gonna be coming from?
Well, the hits come from anywhere. Where anywhere that I record, studio. I have a choice for me for that can work, including the one at Fab Five HQ. I can work anyone I want.
Okay.
You know. Um, what happened now? Let me just preempt you a little bit. So this diamonds thing is out, and I so far I've gotten excellent feedback, and those persons in the public space who have dealt with me, who have made comments, I do appreciate them. I appreciate the encouragement. I don't take those things for granted, and it's a great journey. I am in a good place now. The end of October, here in October now. Big announcement. My next tune. My plans are averagely I release one single.
One singular what? Hello? Did he? Mr. Cooper, are you there?
Yeah, as we were saying before, we're interrupted by imperfect technology. Um, yeah, every month from now on, my aim is I'm going to be releasing something, particularly now that I'm on my own. So next single coming out the end of October. It's
Okay.
already, it's already done. It's just waiting to drop it out there in the public space.
Okay. So
And
every
then now,
quarter you will have something out there, just about.
well, okay. So the first thing I'd release now in September. I release in the next one at the end of this month. That to carry through. Then late in November, Grub Cooper coming with a Christmas single.
Oh, nice.
Because you know how we run Christmas. Relax.
We know that, but
Oh,
also tells me that you're working on an album. Then you have enough material to be
we
putting
keep
out.
going. Hopefully, and I say it's guardedly because sometimes other factors they will impair the thing.
Hmm.
On my birthday, 26th of December, 2023, that's my Earth Strong, let me say, no? Birthday.
The 25th of
Hopefully by
December.
then,
Did you say the
6
20?
back.
Oh, Boxing Day.
Correct. My parents missed the boat by a day.
Bad day,
Um,
right?
and I tell people rubbish that Boxing Day coming into being when I was born. Which is really
You still have your sense of humor, don't you?
always. I tell you, I live in the present. I'm not a gloomy guy,
Well,
not gloomy
listen,
in the
listen,
least.
Mr. Cooper. It's not that people want you to live in the past, but you and the band have been the soundtrack of our lives for the past 52 years. And for some people, it hurts. For some people, they get over it. But for some people, they hate to see it happen. So that's something that, eventually you probably have to deal with when you meet some people. Because I've seen the comments online, and people thought,
Mm-hmm.
you remember when Jermaine didn't go with the Jackson 5 when they left Motown?
Yeah,
And
man.
people
Yeah.
children,
Well,
all of us were crying and said, "How could he do that? How could he not go?" Well, it's the same thing in the reverse now. How could you go? That's what's happening right
yeah.
now.
I understand, and I know that because some people would have shaken me like that, but I accept it. When
Okay, you accept it.
when
Okay.
when Bolt announces this, I say, "Oh my God, oh Bolt!"
Exactly.
But but
We,
it's Bolt that the man has earned the right to retire.
right.
I'm so great.
Listen, we have become
Right.
emotionally attached to you and the
I
other group
know.
of musicians. I remember
I
the
know.
first time I have a personal.
Mm-hmm.
Let me take you back. Now that we have an extra 5-10 minutes,
Yeah.
I was doing. I used to live in New York, as you know. I used to do my stuff in New York, and I used to also do my show in Hartford, Connecticut. And I
Right.
remember you and the band were doing a show in Hartford that weekend, and some mix up with your transportation coming back to New York. And my car could hold about 4 or 5 of you in the car. And I took you all back to New York. Somewhere left because, maybe 5 of you guys. And we talk and we talk. And you told me you were producing um, a album for the Grace Thrillers. And
Yeah,
right
man.
after that, maybe 2 months, I went to Jamaica. And as I got into Jamaica, I heard Tony Young playing a song
Right.
called Living Waters.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that song?
Yeah, man.
And I said, oh my goodness, I had to stop at JBC. I said, Tony, I need that song. Tony, please. Tony said, no, him just get it. Man, him just drop the tune off. I said, yeah, but I leave like 2 more days. You can always go on by Springvale. That's where you guys were.
Right. Yeah.
I said, you could always go by. And that's when I got that song, Mr. Cooper. I used that song as my opening theme, my closing theme for about 5 years. Living Waters
Okay.
by the
Mhm.
Grace Thrillers.
Well, that's an interesting piece of history. Well, and let me tell you too, the Grace Thrillers is still alive and well.
Yes.
Fab Five is still alive and well. You see, you have choices now. So all the Fab Five fans, who still love the band and stuff, they are still out there and they'll tour. It won't be the same like when I'm there.
Right.
But if you love them, fine, then follow them. If you love Grub Cooper, listen to me. You see me now, I am the only one who can recapture the Fab Five sound. I'm better because I was the voice of Fab Five. So if you get the voice, no matter what forum and no matter what musicians, you're gonna get the Fab Five thing right there.
Right.
Boom.
Right.
Close your eye. Exactly,
Close
you
the
get it
eyes
back.
and you'll get it.
Right.
And tell
So,
me, tell me
so
a
my
little
band.
about it. I just got also last week or so. God Can, your production of
Oh
the
yeah,
new Grace Thriller. Tell me a little bit
yeah,
about that.
man. Okay, his song was done by the Staple Singers, gospel hit from the time past.
Yes.
Um, and so now you kind of produce it in a different way because this have the sort of more reggae to it, but to edit it because the original God can have a lot of talk in it.
Yes.
People have time to play long music now and talk. As we speak, recording. I'm gonna be recording some other stuff with them.
This from an album coming up?
Yeah, yeah. There's an album coming up, but I want to tell you, it's a single so far in isolation, but the album is being worked on. I was saying I'm writing some more stuff for them.
Right.
I've written so many songs for them, produced 20 some albums with them. I'm
Wow.
their producer, you know, and yeah, I'm still writing for them and stuff.
Right.
And I mean, which other pop musician can straddle the whole thing? Go gospel and them say, boy, Grub Cooper, who is who? Which guy can produce thing in a soca? Which guy can produce Julie Ma,
Yes.
good body
Well,
and them
and
something
this
in
is
a
why
soca?
we say that you are a musical genius. This is why the industry considers you a musical genius because you does it all.
All right,
You do it all.
all
You
right,
do
all right.
everybody. You go Cooper
I
does.
accept, I accept,
You know
I
what I'm saying?
accept, I accept,
Listen, brethren,
I
we
accept.
could go on, and unfortunately, time is of restraint. But
Right. Well,
I
well,
want to thank you for taking
yeah,
time
man.
out.
You call me anytime, and once I'm available, we'll always talk, and I'll keep you posted on my runnings.
I would appreciate it. And
I
whatever
am
you
doing.
tell me,
Hold on. I'm doing something, you see, but I have to hold it close to my chest. But you will hear it very soon. It's a piece of work. You'll hear it real soon. I really can't talk about it, but it's something that a lot of people in the diaspora will. And it's just something that I got the idea to do.
right?
Somebody in another country said it to me that I should do something, and I'm gonna do it.
All
All
right.
right.
Well, keep it close
So
to your heart, and then when I call you off here, you can tell me, and I won't tell anybody. Okay?
yeah, man. Any music you want, and when the next release will come, I can send it to you early enough.
Right, right.
Feel free to let it go. Once I
Brethren,
send it to you, feel free to let it
you
go.
you have a friend in me. You might not know it. When you did that album, Arambe, you bought
Oh
me
yeah.
over. That album alone,
Ah.
I realized
Okay.
this guy is talented. This guy is a genius. And that was what, 1981, 82?
Yeah, man.
Yes,
Boy,
sir.
I'm really, really humbled because what I do, I am nothing without fans and people who believe in my product. So
Yes.
I'm really humbled by that. And, you know, just keep on supporting the fans out there. Grub Cooper don't change. Big hits again, the same vocal is there, the same versatility. You know, don't leave me out. Don't crucify me because I change, all right?
I hear you, sir. And we won't. We won't put your feet to the fire, okay? Mr. Cooper,
All right.
again,
And I'm free.
we thank you for the time that you have taken to talk to us, and we will keep in touch. As a matter of fact, I should be in Jamaica this weekend to see Marcia Griffith being awarded her Art of Jamaica. How many of those things have you gotten so far?
Oh, I've gotten OD and gotten CD.
Uh,
I don't know if it's in the stars for me to get OJ. If
you,
it does, I'll officially be Honorable Grub Cooper. But we don't know.
yeah, you don't know.
You know, I can't determine that. You know, but I think
Well, your work will.
if yeah, well, yeah, I do my thing, and you know,
You do
I
your
just
thing.
if acknowledgements come, you know,
Yeah.
more power to it, and I give thanks. So
All
you
right,
know,
sir.
nobody put down nothing for me.
You're
All right.
all right. So, Mr. Cooper, again, thank you very much for taking the time. I will
Oh,
talk. All right.
I'm sorry. Listen, can you give me half a minute?
Yeah, sure.
I'm
Take a
doing
minute.
there's a book launch to be done on the 24th. There's a writer here, Desmond Allen. He's write for the Observer. He has a thing named Desmond's Greatest Hits, and I'm among for the first volume of the book. I'm among 20 really top people in Jamaica, including Gordon Wood Stewart,
Oh,
Pusha
nice,
Simpson. So
nice,
there's an article in there on my life story,
nice.
partially. And so the book launch is the 24th. So I'll give you more info when the book can be gotten and stuff, and you can put that out there. So I'm working with some
Yeah, so
beginners.
yeah, you're in good company.
True.
We'll talk.
Clinton Lindsay, a promoter. Bring up the biggest set of artists from Jamaica. Like Super Cat and Mr. Early be the doctor. Only for artists, no for them, me can't remember. Who can remember when them used to keep Jamaica? The kind of show that used to give out no for water. To reggae artists.